Why do batteries die? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Hey, do you have any toys in your house that use batteries? Maybe a toy car, or a flashlight, or like a talking stuffed animal. Have you ever been playing with a toy when it suddenly just stops working? Do you know what happened? Yep, the battery died. And what happens next? You usually hand it to a grown-up and say, "It needs new batteries!" And then what's the first question they always ask? Well, if it's like it is at my house, the next question is, what kind of batteries does it take? AA batteries, AAA batteries, D batteries, maybe even more than one battery at the same time. Some need one battery or two or maybe even four or even more. Why is that? How do batteries work? I was thinking about batteries today because I got an email from a curious kid named Harrison. He wondered, same thing as me, how do batteries work? That's a great question. Let's figure it out together. Even though we say a battery dies, batteries are not alive. Nothing actually dies inside of them. What really happens is that the battery runs out of the energy that it was built to use. See, inside every battery is stored energy. There's energy packed inside of it. Most toys use something called alkaline batteries. An alkaline battery has three main parts to it. Have you ever held a battery and noticed that one end is flat and the other end has a little like nose-looking thing on it? Those ends are the electrodes. One is the positive side. It's made of something called manganese dioxide. Can you say manganese dioxide? And the other side, the flat side, that's called the negative side. And it's made mostly of something called zinc. Can you say zinc? So you get the positive and the negative side, and in between them is a special liquid or a paste called an electrolyte. Can you say electrolyte? When you put a battery into a toy and turn the toy on, tiny particles called electrons start moving from one side of the battery to the other through the toy. It creates a circuit. That moving flow of electrons is called electricity. As the electrons move, they power the toy. They make lights glow, or motors spin, or speakers make sound. And as long as electrons can keep moving, the toy keeps working. But the battery can only push those electrons for so long. As the battery keeps being used, the manganese dioxide and the zinc and the electrolyte slowly change into new chemicals that can't push electrons anymore. When that happens, the reaction can't continue and the electricity stops flowing. That's when we say a battery is dead. Now, let's talk about battery sizes because that is really interesting. Big batteries, like the big D batteries, they have more zinc, more manganese dioxide, and more electrolyte inside them. That means they can push electrons for a longer time. Smaller batteries, like the tiny AAA batteries, they have less material. So, do they last as long? Nope. Some toys need more power than others. A small remote control it doesn't need much electricity, but a big toy with lights and sounds and motors, it needs a lot more. That's why some toys use bigger batteries or several batteries at the same time. When batteries are placed end to end, like they're put on top of one another, have you ever seen when the battery slot has them on top of each other like that? This actually increases the push. It creates more voltage. And that extra energy helps power bigger or stronger toys. But have you ever wondered why some toys use 2 small batteries instead of 1 bigger one? Why is that? Well, even though bigger batteries look stronger, what matters most is that thing I just mentioned a minute ago, voltage. And voltage is basically how hard the electricity is being pushed. One AAA battery pushes electricity at the same strength as one AA battery. So even though a AA battery is bigger, it doesn't push harder. A AA battery is just bigger, which makes it last longer. But the push, the voltage, is the same. So 2 AAA batteries placed end to end push twice as hard as 1 AA battery by itself. Isn't that interesting? That means 1 AA battery usually can't replace 2 AAA batteries. The toy is built to expect a certain amount of electrical push, not just a certain size battery. The size of the battery mostly changes how long the toy lasts, not how strong the electricity is. That's why toys are very picky about which batteries they use, and why swapping battery types usually doesn't work. Now, here's one more question. We've come this far. We might as well learn everything there is to know. You know how sometimes the battery slot has the batteries end to end, the way that we're talking about right now, where they're kind of on top of each other? But then sometimes the battery slot has the batteries next to each other. What's that all about? Well, when batteries are placed next to each other, the voltage stays the same, but the batteries share the work. That means each battery doesn't have to push electrons as hard or as often, so they run out more slowly. The toy doesn't get more electrical push, it just gets the same push for a longer time. So, when you see a toy with batteries placed end to end, that means it's getting more electrical push. And when the batteries are placed side to side, that just helps the toy last longer and work more reliably. And now you know everything there is to know about how batteries work. Okay, let's have a quick quiz. What moves through a toy that makes it work? We call them electrons. And what do we call the moving flow of electrons? We call it electricity. Let's play true or false. True or false? Bigger batteries usually last longer than smaller ones. That is true. True or false? A battery stops working when electrons stop moving. That is true too. True or false? All toys need the same amount of electricity. That is false. True or false? Batteries are alive. That's false. That's why they don't really die. That's just what we call it when they're no longer working. Would you rather have a house powered by a giant battery or powered by a giant hamster with a giant hamster wheel? I've got to go with the giant hamster with a giant hamster wheel. I'd keep it in the backyard and I'd go out and visit it. Although I'm not sure what I would feed a giant hamster. Maybe I should just go with the battery. All right, let's play a couple rounds of what am I? What am I? I flow. I power lights and motors. And I come from batteries. What am I? I am electricity. All right, one more. What am I? I sit between two battery parts. I can be liquid or paste. And I help electricity happen. What am I? I am an electrolyte. Well, the next time one of your toys stops working, you'll know what really happened. The battery didn't die. It just ran out of energy after doing its job for a long time. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out. So until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got 3 birthdays today. Emma is from Texas and she is turning 5. Happy birthday, Emma. Bodie is from Georgia and Bodie is turning 3. Happy birthday, Bodie. And Everett is from Malaysia and Everett is turning 10. Happy birthday, Everett. For all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kid wants their birthday mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.